I got to meet Wyclef. How cool, right? Just want to share with you all a really dope moment that I was not expecting to experience. I wasn't expecting it. It's Black History Month, so wishing all of you a happy Black History Month. Also keeping in mind that it's just really not a month, like, I guess, but like also like it's more than a month. Wyclef Jean, I don't have to introduce him. Like, if you don't know who that is, please spend some time on Google today. But he, in honor of Black History Month, was the guest honored speaker at my job, JP Morgan Chase, yesterday. And super dope experience. He had a lot of really cool stories, very insightful as it pertains to where the world is with technology. What does that mean for the creative, particularly musicians? You know, folks asked him about his take on AI artists, things of that nature. So pretty dope conversation, food for thought, I think, for everyone in the room. Super cool moment for me because I and Wyclef share a friend, the incomparable super spinner, hard-hitting Harry. Hey, Harry. And when I found out that Wyclef was coming to speak at our space, I was like, what could I ask him? You know, y'all know I'm super curious. And these are the things that I truly like. They make my heart warm and feel good, you know, to be in conversation with a creative and somebody is wonderful and successful and impactful as Wyclef Jean. You know, what a moment to just kind of be in his presence. So if I had the opportunity to ask a question, I really wanted it to be meaningful. And so I reached out to Harry for guidance, and he said, hey, make sure, you know, he acknowledges his first DJ for the Fugees, me, and ask him if he can to tell the story of Fugees and the GOAT. So this is that response to my question. So thank you to Harry, because it was definitely entertaining. I think all of us enjoyed and just learned a little bit more about him. And I think, honestly, that Wyclef enjoyed sharing with us. And so I think it's always important when we can to, you know, give our celebrated celebrities the opportunity to just, you know, always like be comfortable and be able to share something that really like resonates from the heart with us when you're in these types of environments. So enjoy. Have a good weekend. Talk to you soon.
Look, I've been PG-13 this whole time.
I just hear the GOAT and I get a little concerned.
All right, listen. First of all, shout out to all my animal rights people. Let's start with that. Right? No. I want to say that. First of all, y'all hear Haitian, y'all think I'm a killer goat. There's nothing like that. So I say that to tell y'all, since I've been little, I have a thing for animals. I love animals. In Haiti, the roosters, they used to talk to me. I'm just amazed. Y'all could go online. There's an artist called Cannabis. And if y'all go online after this, y'all hear Cannabis coming on stage with a lion. I had a lion that I used to bring on stage with me. No cages, no nothing. Just to start off by saying like that, I love animals. So one day I'm in the booger basement, and this is like early score, right? And I'm trying to figure out in my marketing brain, like, what am I gonna do, right? So I fall asleep and I wake up, and then on the television, it's a commercial, and it's a Budweiser commercial, and I see Spuds McKenzie, the dog with one eye, and then I said, man, ain't no way in America a dog with one eye gonna be famous, and I ain't gonna be famous. It ain't gonna happen, right? So I said, okay, what can I use as a mascot? So now the Fugees is gonna open up. We have the DJ, Hard Hitting Harry, who's the DJ. So we're gonna open up. So I said, man, what can I use as a mascot? So I was like, oh man, you know, I'm from the islands, I love animals. So let me go down to Newark to a livestock place and see if I can get a cow. So I go down to this livestock spot, and I walk in, and I'm like, he like, yo, can I help you? And I'm like, yo, you got a cow, bro? So, and then he goes, so he brings me, and it's this big cow, but you know, in your mind, like when you little, like the cow didn't look that big. So I'm like, yo, bro, you got anything smaller than that? Right? So then he brings me to this other room, right? And I'm like, yo, what's that, right? And it's like all white, very small, and then it has these horns, and beautiful with red eyes, right? And he said, this is a rare Mexican goat, right? And I was like, yo, this is the one I want. This is gonna be it. So now, I take the goat, go back to the hood where Hard Hitting Harry, my DJ, is. I put the goat in the back of my car, and as I'm driving, I realized another thing that I didn't pay attention to when I was young: goats smell. You know what I'm saying? So I go ahead and I'm driving, and the goat is funky, window down, but that's my man. So now, so we get back to the basement. And then when we get back to the booger, you know, I told y'all what the house looked like. We pull up, and the boys are playing basketball in the car, and I pull up, and I get out the car, Hard Hitting Harry. I said, yo, man, y'all ain't gonna believe, right? And they come by the car, they go, what the? And I said, easy, it's a rare Mexican goat, bro, right? So, long story short, I put a Fuji t-shirt on the goat, which was our first single, which was called Boof Baf, and put the green t-shirt on the goat with the glasses, and my DJ Hard Hitting Harry, we drove the goat down to do this, to go to New York to do this show, performing, opening, you know, it's like a Fuji day, and we're not the stars, but we're gonna be opening up. And I just remember my group members thinking, you know, like in the Roman days when the Caesar is completely crazy, and you know, and the Senate is like just contemplating how we're gonna kill the Caesar. I felt like that's sort of like what's going on. And then, you know, everybody's like, it's a goal. I said, yo, y'all don't get it, y'all don't get it. Now we get to the show, the stars that are supposed to be performing, the big stars, these guys equivalent to like the Drakes of the time, they pull up with a white limousine, right? And they get out of their car, and one has a pit bull. And I'm like, you see, man? I'm legendary, right? He gets there with his pit bull, and they go in. Now I'm a genius, right? And my bandmates are like, yo, but that's a pit bull. And I'm like, no, they're both animals. Like at the end of the day, through rough negotiations, I get the goat in the club. And when I get this goat like inside of the club, now the goat is in the area and we're waiting to go on, right? So DJ starts, you know, he start, and then, you know, Praz comes out, you know, he like, yo, and then Praz is like, yo, L, where you at? L, where you at? And then, you know, Lauren comes out and stops the place. And I sing, because I'm happy. And I sing, because I'm free. And, you know, the place is going nuts, right? And then they go, Clef, where you at, right? And all of a sudden, I'm trying to bring a homie with me. He turns around and he goes, right? And then it dawned on me, the goat never been to a club before. I'll stop the story there.